Good morning, Bucknutters. It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. If it's Tuesday, that can mean only one thing. Duane Long has joined us. Duane, how goes it?
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hey, we're back on stride, it looks like.
The general consensus from those around us is Ohio State looked a lot more like Ohio State this past weekend, and it was glorious. Let's talk about Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. He missed a game. Kyle McCord stepped in. Some people thought it was shoulder soreness. Some people thought he might have been pulled for a look at another guy. I think right now, based on what we've seen, it looks like to me his shoulder was hurting him. I was very impressed with him this past weekend. Your thoughts on starting quarterback C.J. Stroud?
Well, I think it's obvious that the shoulder was a problem. I don't know how you can not see that there was a problem there. But I don't think that's all it was to it, Dan. I don't think it was to look at another guy. I think it was, how many times in your life have you just said, hold on, wait a minute. Let me just step back and think about this for a minute or look at this for a minute. And I think that happens, that he was just needed to sit down for a minute, relax, not be thinking about starting this week and game preparation and his shoulder and all that. Just stand back and say, okay, wait. Let me just get a different perspective on things. I absolutely believe that had something to do with it, because there were other things. It wasn't just how accurately he was throwing the ball. It was his decision making. I don't remember one throw in that game or even like his decisions to run. I don't remember one that was just like, okay, he shouldn't have done that. What was he thinking right there? So I'm thinking it was just being able to stand back and look at things from a different perspective, take his time, and just think about it.
In that case, the shoulder injury would be a little bit of a blessing. I said this on the show over the weekend. There was a throw Stroud made down the right sideline to Jackson Smith-Njigba on 3rd and short. Perfect thrown ball down the right sideline. The guts to throw that on 3rd and short, the confidence in your quarterback to call the play, the execution, hopefully was a small sign of what is to come, and it was very, very impressive. I mean, we have not heard any C.J. Stroud, Kyle McCord, Jack Miller, Quinn Ewers chatter this week. It's all about C.J. Stroud, so they're going to need him to play well, obviously, though, because right now, and I don't know if this has ever happened, you've got 5 Big Ten teams ranked in the top 11. Now, the only guarantee is there won't be 5 teams in the top 11 when all is said and done, because they're all going to have to play each other at some point. Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Iowa, and Michigan State are all ranked in the top 11. If you were going to rank them in order now, who would you do?
Ohio State, I haven't seen Iowa, so that's really hard to say. But they're undefeated. They seem to be just handling everybody. So just on that, I would have to say Iowa second. We'll find out this weekend, because I'd have Penn State third. I'd have Michigan State fourth. I've watched Michigan several times, and Michigan, they got a pretty good defense. Defense is playing well, but I'm just not – the offense, they've got no real running attack that just really says, okay, this is a guy you need to gear up for. And I don't see a receiver that scares, that's going to make teams say, okay, we got a game plan around how to defend him. I'm just not seeing it. So that would be my order.
In terms of what we thought about going into the season, you're almost getting the best case scenario for everybody. I still think Ohio State's the class of the group. I would actually say Penn State 2, Michigan 3, Iowa 4, Michigan State 5, but we'll see. But that leads me to my next vibe. My eyes may be too big for my stomach right now, but if Las Vegas was having to rank teams to play on a neutral field right now. Obviously, Alabama and Georgia would be in their own class, but I believe Ohio State would be favored over any other team in the country on a neutral field right now. Am I wrong?
No, I would absolutely have Ohio State. The Ohio State that we saw Saturday is the Ohio State that we expected, and I think it's going to. I think that Ryan Day needs to be credited for tweaking, doing the things necessary to get his football team righted. He didn't try to hang on, try to hope the end of the season. Let's just get through the season and then we'll work on this. No, he did it now, and he needs to be commended for that. That's people talk about Saban being rather ruthless. Well, Day just said, "Hey, I got to worry about my football team, not some coach's ego." And he did what was necessary. The defense is really starting to gel. These guys are getting used to playing together. That's so important. I mentioned this in my post game comments, Longview last Saturday, that we always talk about the offensive line needing to gel and play together. That needs to happen everywhere on the football field. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Everybody needs to be where they're supposed to be, and they need to understand the guys around them, what they're doing, where are they supposed to be, and what about those other players, how they're going to go about things. That needs to happen, and it's gotten better the last 3 weeks.
They are so talented in the younger classes that those guys are coming along with some experience, something real special. There's a lot to look forward to. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and talk some recruiting. All right, we are back. Duane, IMG receiver Carnell Tate is expected to visit for the Maryland game. Is he up to snuff with Ohio State's wide receiver recruiting that has been such a zenith experience?
I don't think he's as good as a number of the guys we've got in the WAC right now, no. But he's still the best, one of the best that's out there this year. We had a couple of years back to back. We ended up getting Fleming and a few other kids, and then Egbuka last year. Those two classes were just phenomenal. Now this is more of just another good class, and he's one of the best. He's a bigger kid, a good down the field guy. You can just throw the ball up and let him go get it. So he'd be a nice get.
Notre Dame also seriously in the mix. Another guy there in the mix for A.J. Harris, defensive back. Your thoughts?
They're recruiting him as a corner, and I did not see, when I watched the film, I saw an elite safety. I saw a 5-star safety in him. Most of his film is of him not really covering so much as it is making interceptions. He reads the game really well. He good vision. He sees where everybody's at, breaks on the ball, great speed. He's got all the tools to be an elite safety, and maybe he can be an elite cornerback. But you go get that kid and you bring him in, because it's not like we can't use another safety. He plays a lot of offense. He's a great kick returner. He's worth a scholarship as a kick returner. So both those guys be nice gets.
I think if we learned anything with Denzel Burke this year is that position specificity in the secondary for some guys, like Denzel Burke was just asked to go out and pretty much do everything for his high school team to win the football game. So specializing at corner wasn't necessarily his deal, though you've seen it hasn't taken him very long to pick that up. A.J. Harris may be in that category, but that's a very, very prized prospect out of the South. And as we've seen with guys like Curtis Perry now swaying back toward Alabama, or even heading west, Chris McClellan heading back towards Oklahoma, it's very hard to pull those guys out of there. All right, Duane, let's talk some real football this weekend. Maryland comes to town. Maryland hosted Iowa in a national game last Friday night and literally played one of the worst football games you're going to see on national television. Do you think the Fighting Tagovailoas rebound against the Buckeyes, or are they going to the shed?
They're going to the shed. This is going to be ugly. This is going to be ugly. The way we played last week and the way they played last week, you put the two together, and the Buckeyes are going to cover. I don't care how many points. It could get really ugly. We could see a lot of our young guys this weekend, something that we're seeing with the quarterbacks. We need to see more of those guys, Dan. We need them to be ready to play. We've already had a Stroud down for a game with the shoulder. So we need them to get ready. I'd like to see both of them get in game. play most of the second half. That'd be nice. Get a 40-some point lead and then put those guys in and let them throw the ball around. Run the offense. Sometimes they put guys in there and just hand off in the game. Well, what's that do for them? Yeah, they get used to being on the field, but after a while, that's probably no big deal. I mean, after a really short period of time, let them throw the ball around a little bit. Let them get used to throwing a football at this level because it's still, even if you're playing a team like Maryland, it's still a higher level of competition than they played against in high school. Let them throw the ball around. Let them run the offense.
Yeah, I think Maryland's going to try and empty out the kitchen sink here and go down the field. The only good thing is Tua's little brother does hold the ball a little longer than most of the teams they've played against. The defensive line is going to get a chance to get home. I know that there's been concern, and I've had it as well, with the number of sacks they've gotten from the defensive linemen, especially the ends, but it's clear other teams are using a quick strike approach. I'm not sure Maryland's going to be able to do that. But one guy that scares me on Maryland is Raheem Jarrett. We all remember him. He is a legit receiver. Provided they don't let him get too deep, Maryland is going to the shed. I would agree. We appreciate Duane stopping by. Have a good one, Bucknutters.